Namaskar. I am Dr. Sapunti, brings you the viewpoint. Today we are unpacking a fast-moving controversy from Tamil Nadu that stitches together religion, law, and politics. The Thirupparankundram Karthigai Deepam dispute, the row over lighting the traditional lamp on the Hilltop pillar, the High Court orders, the state government reactions, and the opposition charge of anti-Hindu appeasement. What really happened and why has it exploded into political crisis? Let's break it down. In early December 2025, a Madras High Court order permitted devotees to light the Karthigai lamp on a stone pillar, the Deepatham, on the Thirupparankundram hill, a spot above the historic Subramania Murugan shrine. The state hesitated, citing law and order and heritage ownership arguments. Tensions rose, protests followed, and the opposition parties accused the government of minority appeasement, and the ruling DMK and government targeted the judge, calling his order biased. The state has moved the Supreme Court and the political temperature is rising. Thirupparankundram is an ancient Murugan Temple complex in Madurai. For generations, lighting the Deepam on a Hilltop pillar during Karthigai has been claimed by devotees as a traditional rituals. Over time, competing claims including assertions above adjacent Durga areas and administrative control created a legal dispute over whether lighting at that particular hilltop pillar would infringe other rights or create communal disturbance. A single judge's order allowed lighting at the hilltop pillar under police protection. When enforcement became contested, a higher bench of the Madras High Court later reaffirmed that direction, emphasizing historical usage and Devasthanam's duty to protect its property and traditions. The court criticized the state government for not implementing directions it called necessary to protect temple rights. The Tamil Nadu government argued it had exclusive administrative rights over some rituals and expressed real concern over public order. Officials imposed prohibitory orders and said large gatherings could spark violence. They also filed a special leave petition in the Supreme Court challenging the High Court direction. In short, the state cited law and order, heritage administrative control, and public safety as reasons for delay or non-compliance. The opposition, most prominently the BJP and allied MPs, accused the ruling DMK of minority appeasement and of deliberately defying what they called a pro-Hindu court direction. There have been protests, lawyers' agitations demanding judicial accountability, and even talk of impeachment moves against the judge from some opposition corners, particularly by DMK and India Alliance. At the same time, Muslim and other community groups have petitioned authorities, saying actions that stoke tensions must be checked. The courts found historical practice and property rights argument persuasive. If the state ignores court orders, that raises separation of powers questions. The state counters with public order concerned a legitimate executive duty. Religious acts at contested sites can inflame local tensions quickly. Authorities often weigh the immediate risks of violence over strict enforcement of a judicial order. That is the state's stated posture here. With election approaching, parties can weaponize racial disputes. Charges of anti-Hindu appeasement are powerful political messaging. 2 points to keep in mind. First, accusing a government of appeasement. The state's stated actions here are framed as public safety and administrative control, not explicit denial of ritual. Secondly, the judiciary has said that lamp lighting has historical grounding. Failure to implement court directions can be portrayed as bias against religious practice. Both sides can make plausible claims, which is why neutral institutions must proceed transparently to diffuse suspicion. Independent, transparent fact-finding, a neutral committee to map historic uses, property boundaries, and festival practices, facts reduce implementary claims. If any ritual is to be allowed, authorities must guarantee safety for all communities and set clear, enforceable protocols. Local religious and community leaders should be brought into a mediated solution to avoid politicization. These are not magic fixes, but they reduce the political oxygen that turns a legal dispute into communal chaos. Legally, the case states how far the executive may cite law and order to defer court orders, and whether courts will insist on implementation when rights and traditions are at stake. Politically, it is already a flashpoint used by opposition to allege appeasement and by the ruling party to warn against politicizing public order. The bigger risk is real communal harm from rhetoric that frames the other sides as an existential threat. We'll watch the Supreme Court's response to the state's special leave petition on the ground law and order steps and whether local dialogue begins. I will keep you updated as the story unfolds. And that's all for now. Thank you.